Hello, welcome. My name is Jose Gabriel. I'm a real estate broker, real estate instructor here in Florida. And in this short video, we're going to be talking a little bit about earnest money deposit. What exactly is it? Who holds it? Etc. Now, just a quick reminder that the information that's provided in this video should not be considered as legal or financial advice. If you need assistance in these areas, you should contact a professional that is licensed to provide those services. Okay, so what is this? This is the amount of money that's submitted on a contract. When somebody submits a purchase agreement, a contract to buy a property, they're going to put in there a certain amount of money that they're willing to put in escrow. And escrow is just basically an escrow account. It's just a banking account that's going to be held by either the title company, an attorney, or a broker, a real estate broker, and the money's going to be held there until the close. So this is money that the buyer is going to deposit to show how serious they are about buying a particular property. If it's a $500,000 property and they're going to put in $500 deposit, then obviously that's not very serious. And in a competitive situation, you're going to have to negotiate. If it's a competitive situation, you may want to deposit a larger amount. Now, there is no specific amount here. There's no law that defines it. Florida statutes, nothing like that. If the seller is willing to take the property off the market with zero deposit, then that's fine. That's what the buyer and the seller agreed to. But in most cases, you're going to see that the seller is going to insist that the buyer put something in deposit. So if they change their mind, they're putting that money at risk. This is, as I mentioned, is going to be held by the escrow agent, and the escrow agent doesn't necessarily have to be the closing agent. It could be a title company that's going to be holding, or doing the closing itself, but there might be an attorney that's actually holding those funds. So it normally is the title company, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, and as I mentioned before, the deposit is going to be on a case by case. If it's $100,000 condo, maybe $1,000 deposit might be acceptable. But if it's a $800,000 property, the seller is not going to take a property off the market for $1,000. Now, some agents, some sellers, they use a rule of thumb, like maybe 2% of the sales price. But again, that just might be their rule. It doesn't mean that it has to be that way. So it's always negotiable. It's always going to be the seller is always going to try to get more on deposits so that they have more at risk if the buyer decides to back out, and the buyer is always going to want to put as little amount as possible. They don't want to risk those funds because they might lose them if they change their mind or something happens on the deal. So if the deal does fall apart, they are putting those funds at risk. Basically, what has to happen is now you need to have a document where both the buyer and the seller are signing saying that they're canceling the deal and how those funds are going to be split. So even if one side is completely in the wrong, unfortunately, you still have to negotiate with the other side to get signature. If one party decides they do not want to sign, unfortunately, it's probably going to end up in litigation, which is probably it's going to be more expensive. It's going to take a longer period of time, and everyone loses in that situation. Okay, so that's it. That's everything you wanted to know about escrow deposits or earnest money deposit. Hopefully, you found the information useful. If you have any ideas or suggestions for me, please by all means let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video. And in the meantime, please stay safe.